There's movies you watch, and then there's movies that stay. Long after you've forgotten entire shows, long after you've forgotten games, long after you've forgotten who you were when you first saw them. Somehow, they stay. Not as stories, not as characters, as feelings. My name is JBN, and I still hear Lily Chou-Chou. I first watched All About Lily Chou-Chou during summer of 2022. College had finished, and I'd gone back to my parents' house, and honestly, there wasn't much to do. The days felt long, the nights felt even longer. Everyone in my house sleeps early. So by midnight, the entire place would be silent. Not completely silent, just quiet enough that you started noticing things. The sound of the wind outside, the hum of the refrigerator, the faint sound of my gaming laptop. Yes, I do have a gaming laptop. I mean, come on, look at this thing. It's beautiful, it's cute. Why would I get rid of it? One night, I was scrolling through YouTube, not looking for anything specific, and somehow I found All About Lily Chou-Chou. Or maybe it found me. I looked it up. I didn't know who Shinji Iwai was. I didn't know what the Ether was. And I didn't know who Lily Chou-Chou was supposed to be. I just pressed play. The full movie was on YouTube. And for the next 2.5 hours, I was somewhere else. When the movie ended, I didn't start another video. I didn't check my phone. I just sat there, listening to my laptop fan. Yeah, I'm gonna keep bringing up that laptop fan. I just sat there, thinking. And I remember thinking that I'd never really seen anything like it before. Looking back, it's funny. Because Shinji Iwai ended up creating one of the most important movie experiences of my life. And at that time, I couldn't have even told you his name. There's a softness to the way he filmed things. Grass, power lines, summer skies, the kind of details most movies ignore. And somehow, those details became the things you remember the most. When people talk about Lily Chou-Chou, they usually call it a movie about loneliness, or bullying, or adolescence, or even music. And technically they're right, but I don't think that's why people remember it. I think people remember it because of a feeling. The movie calls it the ether. The ether is one of those ideas that means something different to everybody. Nobody can really agree on what it is, and maybe that's exactly why it survived. For some people, it's music. For some, it's nature. And for some, spirituality. For some people, it's that feeling you get when you're completely alone, but somehow don't feel lonely. Whatever it is, people are still searching for it. Before Lily Chou-Chou was a movie, it was a website, a message board, a place where people talked about Lily, talked about music, talked about life, talked about the ether. And somehow, decades later, people are still there. The more time I spent reading Lilyholic posts, the more I realized people weren't only talking about the movie. They were talking about themselves, talking about loneliness, relationships, about things they couldn't tell the people around them. And people would reply, sometimes offering advice, comfort, simply listening. For a lot of people, Lilyholic wasn't just a fan site. It was somewhere they felt understood. And I think that's beautiful. The movie created a fictional community, but what formed around it was completely real. Real people, real feelings, real conversations. The strange thing is that Lily Chou-Chou never really disappeared. After getting deeper into the movie, I eventually found a Discord server dedicated to Lily Chou-Chou, and that's where I found something else. Lost songs, or at least fragments of them, references, lyrics, pieces of Lily Chou-Chou's history that never actually made it to the movie. Songs that only existed in archives and discussions. It felt like discovering lost media. And part of me hopes that one day somebody would recreate them, not because they're necessary, but because it feels wrong for pieces of Lily Chou-Chou to remain silent forever. Then there's the music. And honestly, I don't think I've ever heard anything quite like it. Most fictional musicians don't feel real, but Lily Chou-Chou does. To be honest, she feels more real than the real ones, if that makes any sense. And I think a huge reason for that is Salyu. Even though Lily Chou-Chou isn't real, Salyu's voice gives her a real soul. There are moments where it feels less like you're listening to music and more like you're listening to memories. Combined with Takashi Kobayashi's production, the songs somehow feel both distant and intimate at the same time. Like hearing something through a wall, like remembering a dream, like trying to hold onto a memory before it disappears. The soundtrack doesn't feel written, it feels discovered. Like somebody handed you an old CD and told you to listen, and somehow that feeling never goes away. Every summer after 2022, I found myself rewatching the movie. Not because I'd forgotten it. I remembered most of it. I think I was trying to remember the feeling, you know? Every summer was different. Different worries, different goals, different versions of myself. But somehow, the movie stayed the same. And every time I came back to it, a different part of it started making sense. The older I get, the more I realize Lily Chou-Chou is in a movie you understand all at once. You grow into it. And every few years it reveals something new. This summer, I almost didn't watch it again. I thought maybe I'd outgrown it. Maybe it wouldn't hit the same anymore. But it did. Although the house is different now. Life is different now. I'm different now. The person who first watched Lily Chou-Chou in the middle of the night during summer of 2022 barely exists anymore. And yet somehow, every time I watch it, I can still find him. For a little while. While making this video, I ended up doing something I'd wanted to do for a long time. I wrote a message on Lilyholic, the same website I'd spent years reading, the same website that existed before the movie, the same website where people talked about the ether more than 20 years ago. And it felt strange. Not because it was old, but because for a moment it felt like no time had passed at all. I thought about all the people who had written there before me. People who watched the movie in 2001, people who watched it in 2005, 2010, or maybe even last week. And somehow, despite all those years between us, we were all trying to describe the same feeling, the ether, whatever that means. Maybe that's why Lily Chou-Chou never disappeared, because every few years somebody discovers it for the first time, and then leaves a small piece of themselves behind. A message, a memory, a song, a feeling, and eventually I did too. Because some things never really leave us, they just become part of who we are. And every summer, when the night gets quiet, when the house goes silent, when all I can hear is a faint hum of a fan, I still hear Lily Chou-Chou.